Kisha, hey girl. Can
Hey,
you?
Karen.
Oh, I'm so glad I can hear you. Okay, yes.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for volunteering to be a part of the show. I appreciate you. All right, so we're gonna start from the beginning.
Well, I
You're
just want to
here.
say thank you first because the conversation that you're having is so important to so many women, especially in the Black community. I remember it was probably about 5 years ago when I saw your lives on Facebook. You were doing In the Salon.
Mhm.
And what really scared me was you were doing all these big chops. And I was like, oh no.
Not me.
I was like, I want to come. I want my hair to look like your hair. I want my hair to be curly and like, I want it to be all the things, right? I want it to be very natural and but I was like, I do not want to chop all my hair off, but I just appreciate so much that you were doing that education at the time and helping women to overcome a lot of the trauma that we don't even realize,
I know
you
a
know.
lot of trauma, and I do think that's the conversations that need to be had because, like when I was in the salon and doing the Tuesday tips, like I was doing the hair. It was so hard for me to get on these topics because I can't talk and do that at the same time. So this platform is going to allow me to touch on a lot, not just about the hair, but just a lot of the stuff that we go through when it comes to that. So let's start from the beginning with you. All right. So let's go back. Were you natural? Were you like how did you have relaxer? Like what happened? Take me back to
I mean, we can go like back a few years or we can go way back
let's go back. So when
to
when did you stop getting relaxers?
oh gosh.
You don't remember?
I feel like I stopped getting relaxers maybe about 6 years, 6, 7 years ago. But what the interesting thing is, parts of my hair I would relax because I would get a sew in and I would leave some of it out, and I wanted that hair to blend with the sew in. Um,
Mhm. Is
and
that how you
so, like,
started?
this part was like relaxed, but this part back here wasn't.
So
So.
so you got yourself you started with sew-ins or did you start like when did that start? When did the sew-in start?
I think the sew-ins started, well, just to be honest, like it was a mix. When I met my husband like 23 years ago, I was doing a mixture of braids, micro braids were very on trend then. I was doing, sew-ins sometimes, and then I would just, go all relaxer. And for a while, I had a stylist that I had met. He was amazing in Minneapolis, and he was doing like this really cute bob look on me, and it was
Was
you
that with
know
your hair or with the
that
or
was
with
relaxed hair. That
okay.
was with my hair, but it was relaxed.
So you went
Yes,
from relaxed to and then you started adding hair.
yes, and then I went back to relaxed, and then I
Okay.
went back to
And then you must have decided to grow your natural to go natural
yes, yes.
underneath underneath your protective styles.
Yeah, so then we moved to Ohio, and about 5 years ago was when I saw you doing the Tuesdays tips, and I was like, every single time I would travel or have a work conference or something would come up, I would think, okay, I got to pack this. I got to make sure the kids have something to eat. I got to make sure the dog has somewhere to stay. I got to book an appointment with my, stylist that I can get my hair sewn in. Like everything,
Mama, just it was. What did your husband say? Like he's just like we can't do nothing until you get your hair done.
Right. Well, I would have to order hair first, and then I would have to wait, a week or so for it to come in. So it was like, timeline planning back to make sure that I had the hair that I was going to wear and the look that I wanted. And there were a lot of times that I would go, and like get my hair sewn in, and it wouldn't be what I wanted. And so I would, have to change, or that would be frustrating as well for me and the stylist, right? Because it would
All
be
right.
hours. I'd be in the chair for hours.
So here's a picture of you with what is that, braids?
Yeah, those are braids. Those are
Right.
individual. Yep.
Okay, then
Hmm.
we got another picture of you in your braids, right?
Yep.
So
Hmm.
then we
Those
we
are some
got,
cornrows.
wow, like that looked like your daughter's hair.
Yep.
So what, you would get hair like your daughter's hair?
Yeah, and then this is crochet. This
It
is
looked
a
like her hair.
hmm
So do you remember your hair prior to I don't have the picture with uh that's the one I wanted, the one with you and your family. Do you remember your hair prior to wearing weave relaxers, or did you have a lot of hair when you were little?
I would say I'm very hair involved. So when I was younger, I did have a lot of hair. My mom used to have my aunt come over, and I would sit on my grandmother's porch, and she would braid my hair up into cornrows. And once I got to be like 7, was when I was able to go to the salon with my mom and my grandmother and get a relaxer. And that's
Because
when I
they
knew
wasn't
I
dealing
had.
with it. They
No,
wasn't.
they weren't dealing with
It was
it.
like, because where you tender had there wasn't no air conditioning, like nobody wanted to
Right.
deal with it. So at them days, it was just like, let's get a relaxer and it'll be
Hmm.
easier. And then I'm sure you saw that your hair was never the same.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't really know what my hair was like after so many different styles and so many different, um, you know, I don't know, I guess experiments, trends and just trying different things. So, um, and I did try like the big chop years ago when I lived in Minneapolis, and I had like a mini afro, and it just wasn't me, because when I was younger, I had become conditioned to having a very polished look, and
Hmm.
this is what you did to my hair, which is still, I've been able to still maintain this, just getting it flat
Getting
ironed. Hmm.
so when we okay, so when you start, so what happened was you came to me and you were used to wearing, you was just like, I want to, now that I have, you must have grew your hair out underneath your
I did. I
and
grew it
you
out
came,
underneath
so
my
then you came
protective style.
underneath your protective style, so you came into the salon, you was like, hey girl, I'm ready. And I'm like, no, this is no, 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 this is it, but this is not it. Like, you got the goods, like clearly you got the goods, but what I'm thinking happened, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, you grew your hair out, your natural hair out underneath your protective style.
I did.
You did. And so
Hmm.
in your mind, you was thinking, okay, I'm going to grow it out, which was a lot to do. Grow it out underneath my protective style. And then when I take it out, I'll be ready to wear it.
The ladies hated seeing me coming. I had so much hair they had to braid down in order to put hair on top. And my husband was like, "Why are you sewing somebody else's hair on top of your hair? Like, what's
Right.
happening?"
Like, you got hair. Like, and then so something had to happen to you, just like, maybe I should learn how to do my own hair.
Well, and I appreciated when I came to you, because you were like, "No, you're not gonna wear it curly yet. It's gonna be ugly. You're not gonna like it." And I was like, "Okay."
And so we didn't wear it curly.
Mm-mm.
You left probably with a twist set, and probably left with it twisted a couple times. And what did I tell you to do?
Well, you told me to wash it. You told me to wash it a lot, and I remember thinking like, well, I had been conditioned, that I'm not going to wash my hair. And actually, I would tell people, very proudly that, oh, I don't, at work, I don't wash my hair except for maybe every 2 weeks. And they'd look at me like, that's gross. But
Uh,
I was like, no, no, this
this
is,
is what we
the
do.
Black culture. This is what we
Mhm.
do. We don't wash our hair because we need the oils to build up and all the things, right? So we
Right.
don't wash our hair often.
And so you went home and I asked you to wash your hair, try to wash it at least once a week. How did that go?
My arms were tired.
How did it feel when you got inside of your hair and just like, because you, it had to take a lot of courage because you had spent your whole life, not dealing with it. And
Hmm.
then you started dealing with it like that. I need to go there. Like,
Yeah.
what gave you the courage? And then, like, because you had a lot of hair.
Yes.
So,
I
what
had
gave you
convinced
courage?
Well, I had convinced myself it was quicker just to, wear it up or, not deal with it and wear it in braids. Because I could literally wake up and go. But what I didn't like was when I would take it out to wash it, it was like a lot of hair loss. It was all like a lot of white residue or buildup. It didn't smell great. Like, I wanted to touch my scalp, and be able just to wear my hair. And, there were times where I would take my hair out, like my family and I, we'd go to the swimming pool. And my daughter was like, where are you going with your hair like that? Like, you can't wear your hair out. We're going to the pool. And I'm like, yes, I can. And I wanted to, but I
Mhm.
just didn't know,
Right.
exactly what to do. And so once I started washing it more often, it actually got very soft and it was, filled with water. It held onto moisture quite a lot. And then I started to see, the ringlets and the little curls. And I was like, really happy that, I'd taken your advice and I'd washed my hair so often. But yeah, my arms were tired at first and then it just got a lot more manageable.
I kind of want to double back on what you just said, like because like when you came, you wanted to wear your hair, like wear your own hair. That was what you wanted. Who is Muhammad Ali? um, you wanted to wear your own hair, but you weren't ready. You know what I mean? You weren't ready. And we had to go through a process. And it took time. And the process was the whole therapy part is about you shampooing your hair so that when you are able to wear your hair out, like is you ease into the process a little better because like from your relaxer to your protective style, like you were easy to get whatever style was next. Like whatever style you wanted, you just like, oh, I'm gonna get my hair like this. And then you would go buy the hair and then you would get it done and then that would be it. But this natural hair, it didn't respond quite that way. Like it wasn't like you could just wear your hair the way you wanted to. You had to go through a process.
Yes, and that meant like, wearing my hair in a bun or wearing my hair in, what I could do, like a couple of braids, going back. I mean, I know how to braid my hair, so that wasn't a problem, but it was the time for me. Like, I was so busy and I wasn't really caring for myself like I should.
Mm,
And so once I really started to prioritize myself more and say, my teenager, she can handle herself and I can love myself and I can spend a couple hours in the bathroom washing my hair and doing all the things, right? I was speeding through that and it was okay with me. Like I started to buy all these different products, and I remember my girlfriend, I went to her house. She's a doctor and she has very curly hair as well. And she said, do you want some products? And she literally brought out like 60 different products that she had been trying, to like
mm.
understand her own hair. And so I was able to, use some of her products to try to figure out, what I wanted to do. But at the end of the day, I just had to try different
Just be involved in.
natural styles. Yeah, like that I was comfortable with. And
And so
it,
when do you think that it took a turn for you? Like when did it went, you went in home and you started shampooing. How long do you think it took? And when do you remember that moment was just like, oh, I like this?
um, I mean, I think it was some comments, one when I was at this prom, I met a mom Her name's Tanisha. She's on the video. And she was like, "Your hair is beautiful." And I was like, "Girl, thank you. Oh my God."
Like it's mine and I didn't have to buy it. Mhm.
Yes. And I was like, I'm on a journey. And then another time, my oldest daughter, who's 22, 22-year-olds, they can cut you with their words. She was like, "Mom, I'm really your hair. I'm really liking, what you're doing and how you're caring for yourself." And I was like, "Thank you," because I wanted to be able to work out and I still wanted to be able to, do my own hair. And it was some of those comments that helped me to feel, you know, more confident in what I was doing with my hair. I knew that it's where I wanted to go. So
So to that point, I want to like kind of follow up on that. Like you work a corporate job. So how did you deal with that in the corporate environment? Like how did you manage with the transition?
well, I'm still on a journey. So that's why my hair looks like this. I was like, "Karen, I got an interview. I need you to to give me a silk press,
Okay.
but I am, more confident about wearing my hair curly. So, and, there are things like the Crown Act, which is federal legislation, that's standing up for women with all hair textures. And so, those are the kinds of things that are empowering for our culture and empowering for our little girls to know
Yeah.
that there isn't just one definition of beauty. And I love my hair, and I think my mom loves my hair too. I think when I was younger, she just couldn't sit me still
Yeah.
long enough, and
For sure.
she was
For
looking for
sure.
convenience as
And that was
well.
a trend. That was, what they did then. You know what I mean? So then I want to double back on you. You talked about working out. How did you make the shift there?
Well, I had told myself that working out meant I could wear braids, and then I could still be able to, you know, um, look
Yeah.
good for my job, right? But I can also wash my hair, put it up in a bun. It's long enough. I didn't get the big chop, and that also gave me some confidence to be able to transition, right? Um, but I can put it up in a bun. I can wear it, and then after I work out, I can wash it, or I can just leave it up and continue with my day. Do a little edge control on my edges and keep it
It's
moving.
even moving. But do you still wear protect? Have you gone back to protective styles since then?
I
Because one
haven't.
one thing I find, people they tend to not go back as much only because their scalp is used to the way their hair feel and their scalp feel good. Because it's not just about how your hair looks; it's definitely about how it feels. And
Absolutely.
so, if you go back to protective style, a lot of times they'll do it, for vacation or for just to take a break, but you start to enjoy your own hair. So I want to go back to your routine. So what changed about your routine? What made it to where it was better for you? Like
Mm,
washing your hair, like, because did you wash your hair before or did you just go to the salon and get protective styles?
what's crazy is there was some shift a few years ago where stylists would say, "You want to come get your hair done? Okay, well, I need you to wash your hair, and then I need you to come see me."
They like, can you just do it without? Because that's a whole situation. So
Yes. So I was in the process, that was my routine. I would, take my hair down, I would wash it, and then I would go to my stylist, and then she would braid it up and sew it in and all the things, right?
so you were in that when they told you to wash your hair at home, and you were a part of that movement
Yes.
where they didn't want to do your hair. You had so much hair they didn't even want to wash it.
I don't know, maybe, or maybe it was just quicker or less,
Yeah, it
you
is
know.
quicker. Yeah, but when you took your you would take your hair down,
Hmm.
detangle it,
Yep.
wash it.
Yes.
How long did that process take?
Oh, hours.
So even the detangle process was a whole situation, and it
Hmm.
didn't really do nothing in between because you would have to have
Right.
an appointment.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I
then
would be out of commission. I couldn't see anybody or go anywhere or do anything.
what did your husband say about like what is his take on that phase? Like what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really have much to say, happy wife, happy life. I guess he just went with it. But after being married for 23 years, he did say, like, I think it was maybe a few months ago, he said, so you're going to sew somebody else's hair on your hair? And I'm thinking, like, I've been doing this forever, and now you have something to say about it. But
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so you said the process took a couple hours for you to take down and put it back up. So then when you started doing it yourself, what in the routine changed?
Mm,
So
I
what
would I would say that I don't have to do a lot of like detangling and brushing it out.
you don't see as much shedding, hair is
Oh no, I don't. I definitely don't see as much shedding. But again, like I would wear my hair in a sew-in or braid it up for, I would say, maybe like 6 weeks. you
mm,
know um and I know some people that do it like every other week, right, that they're braiding their hair up and having a protective
yeah.
style and then taking it down or whatever. And but I would keep mine up for like 6 or 8 weeks, and then I would take it out. So what changed was I don't have to, there's no incognito mode. Like, I mean,
Yeah, you
I
can
can wear
just
my hair in a ponytail. I'm comfortable with it. I can throw on a cute baseball cap if I need to and be comfortable with it. I've even seen you with, a silk scarf,
yeah,
and I think that's cute too. So, um,
yes.
but for the most part, just ponytails and buns and, keep it moving.
And so when we were cutting, could you see a difference like every time we cut the ends? And then
Hmm.
can you see a difference between the new hair growing in and the hair that I said we're after?
Hmm.
Because when we not until we start cutting your hair, does the new hair start coming through. Could you see a difference?
Yes. And not only that, but like I remember I went to the dentist and I had like on this side, I had, one product, and on this side I had a different product. And the dentist, the receptionist was like, um, "Ooh, I like your curls." And I said, "Thanks. I'm trying out two different products." And she said, "I can tell." she, she was like, but it didn't look bad. Neither one of them looked bad. And I think because she was black, she was hair
She get
involved as
it,
well.
yeah. So I like
Um,
that. Let's I need we need the hot stamp right. That piece right there. That right there. I love that. I love it. Because you was like, okay, we're gonna do a taste, we're gonna do a taste test. We're gonna go outside, we're gonna put this on this side and this on this side. Because when it all boils down to it, it's like what worked for you.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like what worked for you? Like, but because you can shampoo your hair freely, you can be like, okay, that don't work. Wash that out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's stick with this one. So it's gonna narrow down, what your product usage and what works for you. And it's not gonna be, you're not gonna be gambling. Like, tell me what this, I'm like, because I sell product, but I'm like, these product junkies, like I don't want you to just like, I want you to find something that works. I want you to buy my product. I do. I want you to buy my product. I honestly do. But if it don't work for you, I don't want you to use it. I want you to find what works for you. But if you don't know your own hair, you can't, you gotta. you gotta do. You gotta do one side and then do the other side. And then you gotta go out and you gotta let the elements tell you, what's gonna work and what's and when you're doing it like that, it's more fun. You know what I mean? It's like not as stressful because you're like learning and growing and evolving with your hair.
Yes, and it's great to have community. Like I said, my best friend, she's a OBGYN in Kentucky, and she had all of these products. And I'm talking about some of these products are expensive, right? And some of the most expensive ones didn't do anything for my hair,
Mm-hmm.
and it was great to be able to try, some of the products that she had, and and then your products, and other products, just to experiment and see what works. But I'm glad that I'm not following some Instagram trend anymore and just buying really expensive products, because it looks like it works for that person with
Yeah.
their hair texture, and
Mhm.
it might not work for your hair texture.
That
And
that
I
that was
discovered
good,
that.
and I'm glad. And it's really about the routine is just about like figuring out what works for you. um when I'm doing hair, like the hairstyles that I do, these work for me, not, but that doesn't mean like everybody should be allowed to figure out what works specifically for them. And
Hmm.
because you're shampooing your hair often and getting your hair trimmed on a regular basis, your hair is often going to change. Like we had you pulled out a picture, we talked about your daughter's hair, and you would I meant to tell you to give me those pictures, like your curls and how they don't look that far off from your daughter's hair. Here you thinking your daughter, because your daughters are biracial, you thinking, oh, they get their hair from their daddy. But come to find out your curls ain't that far off.
No, they're not. And I remember like sending a picture to my daughter of my curls. Like, actually, you got that from me.
Right. That's, I mean, your whole, yeah, that, I mean, how many people do that? Like, they're like, oh, they ain't get their hair from me. Because, when you were little, your mom, she did the best she could. You had a lot of hair. And so, it could be a little, it's a lot. And so
Yeah.
we get those messages when we are young kids, that my hair is a lot. So I need to do something. I need to put a relaxer in it. I need to do this. I need that. And then we get to our age and we like, wait a minute, let me double check. How do I know? How do I know? Like, let me check to see if, because the products are different, the routines are different. Back then, I don't know about you, how old you are, but we didn't have central air. So getting our hair done, in the kitchen it was hot. Nobody really wanted to do that. So there was a lot of things that um that you know
Played into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
played into it, that
Hmm.
and when we get older, we gotta look back like, wait a minute, what if, pull out some old pictures, let's see what's really going on.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I'm so glad. So thank you, Keisha, for
I will say one thing too that I really like is when I get into the shower, and I was contemplating doing it before the live just so that I could show how popping my curls are now. But um, this is like, I don't know, less than a week old, I think, since I saw you last. But when I get into the shower now and I just let the water run and I get my hair wet, I can feel my hair like taking the moisture, and it's refreshing, and it just starts to like grow.
I like that. I like that. That's, I mean, you say, and it just starts to grow.
Yes.
It's not like you're talking about a plant. Like it's like when you pour the water on a plant, and the plant's like, ah.
Yes. And it
Yeah,
just and it's not a bad, like before with my process. It was oh gosh, it's going to be really hard to like get through, but now it's growing and it still is so manageable because it's filled with like moisture. So
yeah,
I can literally like,
manage.
manage it
Well,
in the shower.
and let me double back on that part, because you do have a lot of hair, and of course you would want more hair, right? Like everybody wants more hair. They always wanted more hair, but if you can't manage the hair you have, you don't deserve more hair. You know what I mean? And that's why we doing the lives. Like everybody's like, I want my hair to be long for what? Like if you can't manage and be happy with what you have, then you're not going to get more. More is just more. Like if you want more, you got to learn how to manage what you have so that you can keep evolving with it. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's self-love. I think it's self-care, and just spending that time with yourself, with your hair and loving on it and
Yeah.
talking to your sisters and your friends and of course you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right. Well, thank you so much for being my second guest on here. It was a pleasure. We did good. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
all the photos and being so transparent and vulnerable and allowing us to use your story to hopefully, other people can learn from it and grow from it. So thanks, my friend. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Okay, I'm trying to win some products now. Let's
All
go.
right, see you later. Okay, so thank you guys. All right, so I need to go look through these. Miss Roberta, Miss Faithful, Miss Roberta, Stephanie, Chana, Kiki, Ashley. I can it's y'all showed up. I appreciate it. I want is that Miss Jacqueline Gaines. All right, I want y'all to be able. Hopefully, y'all can critique the live. We did. This is my second one. I want to do here. I don't want to do it in a salon because it's just too much work. But I do enjoy sharing. And remember that there's one thing I want to say at the end. Remember, we got the book, the Gray Hair Restart, the journal, and I'm going to go through these on the lives and the purpose of it so that you can walk through it. If you know anybody who's struggling with their hair, make sure that you we'll meet here next Monday at 6 o'clock. Meet us in the Gray Hair Workshop group. If you need to go, if you need to be on the website, on the mailing list, the email list, go to the website, synergysalon.com. Make sure that you join the website so we can get you in the loop because we got a lot of stuff to give away and a lot of stuff to share. We're going to keep you in the group. And I want y'all to go out and bring in people who need these lives. All right. Thank you guys. See you over in the group and then the squirrels. See you squirrels over in the ambassador page and see you later. Thanks guys.